Hey, it is late. Let's get a shave done, go to bed. Vitos, I don't know. Supercrema, Personna Platinum, without too many uses on it. Fat Boy. Want to test this guy out. This is not my usual Fat Boy. Want to test it out, make sure he's a good shaver before I pass it on. And the code is E, so you can figure out what year it is. Then this nice size Boar brush is from Semogue, and it's been soaking for a few hours now. It's one of my favorites. Now that I've used those two O-rings to help with the bloom, it was just a little too big before. All right, I'm going to put the blade in the razor, then I'm going to worry about splashing my face and all that stuff. Then I don't have to have wet hands holding this little envelope. So yeah, it looks like I've used this platinum about 5 times. You know, I realized just the other day how the another platinum blade say Personna Platinum Chrome. Another platinum blade, the Gillette Platinum, is kind of a hit or miss blade. Either it performs kind of marginal and average in a particular razor, or it's the most awesome blade in that razor. It seems to be one or the other and not really anywhere in between. There are other blades like Pole Silver and Gillette Silver Blue and Nasset seem to work in pretty much everything. And that just goes to show you how the blades are different. Maybe it's the grind. Maybe it's maybe some of the blades that work more often and in most razors have, you know, a microscopically the angle is something like this maybe, and then the edgy ones, maybe Feather and some others, maybe the angle is just a little bit smaller and it just makes a big difference. Who knows? All right, let me splash some water on my face. We are a few hours shy of 24-hour growth. This will be my first time trying the Vitos brand. I bought it Sapone per Barba Vitos Supercrema Finissima Emoliente. And it does have stearic acid and hydrogenated tallow. So it is a tallow soap. Geneva, maybe that's what it said. Genova. Anyway, let's give it a shot. This is one of those, I think it might be Italian, and it's in that tradition of the almond type flavor, marzipan, you know, I think is a general idea here. Kind of like Cella, which I definitely enjoy. Let's just see how it compares scent-wise and performance-wise. I've heard it might be a little better. Now here's the cool thing. This is one of those that I ordered from Connaught Shaving. Connaught. And they're a UK company. Nice shipping to the US. Don't hesitate to check that out. It doesn't cost almost about the same as a US shipper, to be honest. And so you can try out a whole bunch of European types. Soaps and stuff, and this is a very inexpensive one, so it doesn't need to live up to a high standard because it's inexpensive. Let's load it. It doesn't have walls around this. I think this is the container that they use at Connaught. It's almost like it's a 100 milliliter container. I think it's kind of neat. It's definitely should travel well and all that stuff. Since it doesn't have any walls, let's load for 40 seconds. Maybe it's overkill. We'll see. All right, as usual, got hard water here, and I will shake out most of the water. And it's going to get messy, I'm sure, since there are no walls. So, oh, the 10 seconds just rolled around. So let's start going. I actually started at about 11 or so. And so if we want to do a 40-second load, then that would be to 50, 51 or 2. Alternatively, I could have scooped out from this, I'm sure. But we'll just see if this is a good loading. Got that nice smell coming. And there, 40 seconds. And that's what 30 seconds looks like. And yep, kind of on the messy side. So let me rinse that off. And now, first we're going to work it a little bit in the bowl. And just see if it needs that time to kind of work with the brush and all that. Some soaps do. Mystic Water does. I come at it with the same lightly damp, lightly wet brush I always do. By then I mix it here for like 30 seconds or so before I start adding water. And when I do add water, it's very slowly. And that does seem to be an important thing to do with that particular soap. Put a teaspoon in. So there was this Italian soap comparison done, and I think maybe he did weekly installments. It was on Reddit, on the wet shaving sub, and every week or 4 days, I don't know, he would write up something on the Italian. He did a tour of the Italian soaps and a comparison. Cella was obviously in the list, and I'd seen Vitos soaps around, like on eBay and on other places, and I just didn't know how they rated because eBay and Amazon are both full of bad soaps. So that's 2 teaspoons now that I've put in the lather bowl here of water. And the 2 that he did, the Suprcrema, and then the Suprcrema Extra Super was another base. And they both have a little bit of coconut oil or something like that. And he rated them really highly. And since they were so cheap at Connaught, I was like, hey, let's get them. I also got some Cyril Salter. It's a lavender scent, but it's a hard puck, and it's very inexpensive. It was almost the price of a sample itself. And so I thought, man, if this is hard, it's a triple milled, bet that's going to last forever. So why don't we try it out? It may be a superb budget soap. So this lather is looking good so far. You know, it's not airy and bubbly. And so let's keep on putting a little bit of water in it. 3 teaspoons now. Maybe I just got a little too aggressive with the water. We'll see. Quantity isn't really exploding yet. Who knows, maybe we'll get there pretty soon here. This from Connaught comes in the kilo brick, as well as this 100 milliliter. And this being so cheap, I would guess the brick would be kind of reasonable as well, and probably give you a lot of uses for your money. I did weigh it today, and I'll put that into my little system, and so I'll be able to eventually kind of calculate how much soap I use here. All right, well, let's take a feel. Got a little bit of resistance there. Feels nice and slick. That feels good. How about that? And I don't think I overwatered it, so let's just finish it off. Now it has 4 teaspoons of lather for about 40 seconds of loading. I'm glad that it seems like it loaded enough soap. Since part of the brush was kind of flicking off of the soap tub because it didn't have any walls, I was a little concerned that maybe I wasn't going to get enough product on the brush. Now I think that's going to be nice. I think I'll just kind of try to get a good mix right now and let that be it and try this out. This has a nice loft, this brush, so you can see the handle isn't really getting too soapy where I'm having to grip it, so that's nice. All right, face wet again. And empty the goatee of water. We don't want that washing out my lather. All right, Vitos. Feels good on my face. Lather's made with cool water. I don't like to wait for hot. It's a nice soft brush that doesn't generate brush burn or anything like that. Got a silverfish on my wall. Now, I don't. All right. Sure, he was gonna run up and try to get in on the camera work. Now this feels like I need just a little bit more water. So let's charge up my brush, my syringe here. Do a little movement like that so I get some interior. Do that. Do it again on the other side. And then kind of work it around. Yeah, that's looking better. See, it's not diluting, it's actually getting more voluminous. And so that means that it could definitely have I was right to add more water. Let's add a little bit more. We've given my face enough time to bond kind of with the lather, so that's good. Not a strong scent. A little bit of almond. It's almost got a little synthetic note, maybe a touch of powder or something like that. I can't quite identify it. It's not a strong note. It doesn't, you know, get in my way or bother me at all. All right. So let's see. I put this razor on setting 3. And man, this is cutting really well. Very comfortable. Not very much razor feel, actually. I hear it. But this is smooth. Don't really feel the edge. It's kind of uncommon. I've always enjoyed the Fat Boy. I like his size. His handle is a little thicker than the Slim. He's a little more rare. Gotta be careful that my neck right here. Pick the right eye. Here we go. Nice. How does that feel on my skin? Skin feels pretty lubricated. Not super slick. It's I mean, it is slick, but it's more like a thick slickness, more like an oily, not quite that, but maybe it's that coconut oil or something, the different oils and things that are in this soap, but my razor didn't feel any slowness at all. All right, let's see what happens when I rinse this off. So I rinsed off partially, or I should say not completely. Added a little bit more water into this part of into the bowl here. Let's show you. Take a look. I forgot. I didn't really look at that. Now let's do a little bit of shaking. Long peaks. That's some nice, elastic, well-hydrated lather. Excellent. Looks like I'm going to have plenty for a 3-pass shave. So 40-second load was no problem. Don't have to do as much scrubbing now on the second pass. And there we go. And keeping it on the setting 3. Keeping a light touch. Listening and I'm feeling. I like the smaller strokes because it lets me be able to adjust minutely. I can kind of innately do a stroke, and then if it doesn't quite feel like my angle is right, then the next time I do that stroke, I've already adjusted for it. Some people might want to do long strokes, and as far as I know, probably not too much of a disadvantage or pro or con either way. I think one con with long strokes is it's a little easier to keep the wrong angle and not change it like you should. skin felt really nice. It seems like a soap that's treating my skin well. Yeah. It feels like moisturized skin that I've just put some lotion on. It's not quite as fast as some of the buttery, slick soaps that I've used, but my razor isn't able to tell that. So I think I'm cool with that. Well, I know I'm cool with that because it feels great. Let me rinse this off. All right. That water that I added to the bowl after the first pass seemed to be right on the money. It is still creamy, still wet. I feel very protected at the skin layer level. This is one of my favorite settings on the Fat Boy. So this is a good combo for me. And now there we go. This is a nice lather. It's watered down so much that it's wet, but it's not so much that it's flying off. That may be a nice high performance lather when chunks are flying off, but I don't really enjoy that quite so much. So 40-second load, and I've got probably 2 passes here. So I could reduce that load, it looks like. This is a nice lather. I'm really kind of impressed. I like it a lot. Cross grain again. Also happy that I'll be able to pass on this this Fat Boy to whoever wants it with good conscience, knowing that it's shaving well. And now on the third pass, I'm going to do this, which is cross grain for a certain trouble spot area. Hopefully that got it well. It does feel like there's some secondary slickness because that kind of buttery feeling. It seems like it's not allowing my skin to dry out very much at all. So it looks like you wouldn't be having to necessarily re-lather in certain areas. Hey, the cut looks pretty good. Just a couple of hairs that I see that have some length on them. Stubborn guys, you know. I'm gonna leave them. It's late. Let's go to bed. So this scent is not very strong at all. It's not a soap that you're gonna get to have some character in the scent. The character is gonna come from knowing that this is a soap that's been around for a very long time. I think over in Italy, it's a popular choice. And doesn't cost very much, so it's a great one to pick up and give a shot if you just want some variation. I'm really happy with the look of my shave. The comfort level was very high, so really nice. So here's this, I mean, this is tremendous. I hope that I'm capturing the texture here. Look how well hydrated that is. It just feels so, I mean, to me this lather is kind of rivaling those Milk Steak and Excelsior from the new artisans in America, and this is much cheaper. It doesn't smell as good, but in terms of a performing lather that feels luxurious yet also is hydrating your face. It's connecting with your face and protecting with nice slickness. It is just, see, I can feel that in there. That is just nice. I feel like it's going to give me, I feel like it's giving me nice post-shave benefits as well. This is just a really good lather. Now the other one made by the same company, the Vitos Supercrema Extra Super Cocoa. Maybe it's got coconut oil mixed in. Maybe this one does too. Sometimes with the foreign soaps, you don't really know what to call them because you don't know which words are part of the generic description, like shaving soap, or which ones are the actual descriptive adjectives or the proper name. See, this has the stearic acid, hydrogenated tallow, potassium hydroxide, water, sodium hydroxide, sodium hexametaphosphate, benzoic aldehyde, and talc. So it doesn't have tons of ingredients. And so who knows what's causing it to be so. Yeah, this one doesn't have the coconut oil. Okay, so this looks like that's the difference. One of the differences between this Suprcrema and the extra super cocoa that we will try. Why not next time? Why don't I try it next time? Get a good comparison going. But wow, so happy I picked that up. Vitos Supercrema. I found mine at Connaught Shaving. If you're over in Europe, then there are probably many different ways to get it. Connaught would be one way. Wow. My face feels great. But it wasn't greasy. It wasn't oily or buttery or lotiony in a way that prevented a nice rinse. Didn't take me too long to rinse everything off. I have nice face feel. I don't have any irritation. Let's throw on a splash. I'm about to go to bed, so let's keep it Italian. Go with the Proraso. The soap, I think, is kind of a mediocre soap. It's overrated if you buy it at American prices of $10 or $12. In my opinion. Because at $10 or $12, that's about a price point of several really good performing soaps. Much better than Proraso. But I tell you what, on the forums and stuff, there is a whole section of people who think it's just the best thing ever. I don't know if it's because they just haven't tried other stuff. I like the Proraso Red because of the scent, not the performance. And so sometimes I'll use the Proraso Red, but it's been a long time. And I first thought it was pretty good, and it is okay. But the more I tried other brands, and it wasn't even on purpose, I went back to the Proraso soap, and this wasn't the cream, this was the stuff in the tub. And it just, the difference between the performance and the consistency of the lather became more and more evident with the more soaps, other soaps that I use. Anyway, but the splash is a little different. And so I didn't put on too much since I'm about to go to bed. I like this one a lot with the argan oil and the kind of sandalwood type scent to it. But I don't want to be laying in the bed with a cloud of this stuff hanging over me. So we'll just stick with a little bit so I can smell it and it's nice. All right. Wow. So how much water did I end up using? Almost 6 teaspoons. 5.5 teaspoons in this lather. So this soap will hold water nicely. And that is a good thing. Very good thing. About 2 passes extra is what I was left over with. So I'm really glad that I did the 40-second load just to make sure, and it ended up just fine. This fat boy did really well with the platinum chrome. Personna platinum chrome. And so I'm really happy about that one too. So wow, this is a big success. Face feels great. I didn't get any alcohol sting or anything like that from the splash. Got to clean up. So this brush worked wonderfully during the lather today, and I don't believe it has a whole lot of split tips. Boars do that. If you don't know that boars break in, when you first start, they're very focused and forward, that way. But then as you use them, they gradually start to splay outward. So that's one aspect you can watch. And this is good because this means it holds more soap. Instead of you having to go back maybe in every pass, you can gradually eventually start to get all the soap you need on the first pass. The second thing is the splitting of the tips. Do I see any that I could show you? Maybe, yeah, I think I've got one right there. That one right there is split. And that turns it softer and softer. They usually start splitting more on the outside first, it seems, but it's a nice dense knot. I'll probably move this to another handle at some point because it's just so good. And I'm enjoying it. This is just like the 19th use of it, and so it is still very young. My boars are growing up together, but they are doing it slowly. But it is giving me an opportunity to watch them evolve at the same usage rate to kind of compare them. Nice dense boar knot to me. So one of the big questions for me is, how does this compare to my favorite Italian soap, Cella, the little red tub, The scent of Cella to me is stronger and better. It's a little sweeter, but it's there in a greater presence, and so I enjoy that. This one has it. It's just lower and slightly different, but the performance-wise, I've got to give it to the Vitos here, the Supercrema. This was a better lather than I think I usually get from Cella, and so it's very cool, really neat. I'm pretty sure this soap is being used all over Europe. Performance is just top-notch with seems like it has face moisturizing aspects to it, and that's something that these American artisans are focusing in on now, but I bet Vitos has had it for quite a while. I mean, that'd be my guess as far as this goes, but wow, thoroughly impressed with my first shave with this brand. I've heard the Super Cocoa, which is going to come up next, is even better. But that's cool. All right, I'm exhausted. Time to go to bed. Hey, you take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope this has been good for you. Bye.